I awoke from my deep slumber to the sound of waves smashing the side of the ship. The oaken hull creaked as I fell out of my cot and slammed into the planks below me. Dazed, I stumbled back to my feet, adjusting my footing as the ship ruthlessly rocked back and forth. Water was dripping from my ceiling. How long was I asleep? It had been 3 days since our first stop, and we still had almost a full day's journey, and I awakened to a storm? What kind of omen was this? Regardless, I rushed out of my quarters to see my crewmates frantically running about the place. I fought to get the I fought to get the steps so I could get above deck as the mighty storm slammed another wave into the hull. I gripped the stairs as I climbed each one. Gallons of water washed over my body as I climbed every step on all fours. The salty sea and rain continued to pound the vessel relentlessly. Finally, on the deck, crew members were fighting the wind, rain, and waves to keep our ship from falling apart during this squall. Ropes swinging all around the place while we fought to grab them. The helmsman was struggling to keep the wheel straight so we would remain on course. I rushed with the three others to grab the lines so we could keep our sails intact. I look up as the rain pelted my face to see the ashen gray clouds above us. Lightning cracked across the sky. Thunder echoed over the ocean as the captain roared over Mother Nature herself. He had taken the helm, navigating us through this storm and barking orders to keep his ship and all of us safe. Like clockwork, the crew began moving faster and harder than before. Oh, Captain, what have we done? What felt like hours finally passed, and the storm had begun to settle. From what I was told, this storm just appeared out of nowhere. One moment it was clear skies as they were all sharing a drink and a few laughs. Then in an instant, the sea had begun to toss them around as the storm grew closer. From what I gathered, I awoke when the storm was at its worst. It lasted only a few hours, but to us it felt like an entire day had passed. We began to clean and do small repairs to the ship. Thankfully, nothing serious happened other than a broken board or two here and there. Some provisions were lost as well as a few cannonballs. Other than that, we were all alive. For that, we were grateful. Maybe not as grateful as we should have been. I located our navigator, who told me we still had at least half a day left to our final stop before the island. The next stop was more known for pirates than the usual islanders we were used to. While we may never call ourselves pirates, we got along with them fairly well, and this island would still be somewhat gracious to us. We would just need to leave plenty of men on the ship to make sure we aren't robbed once we arrive in port. He would then tell me that this stop was important for the captain had a contact he needed to talk to. The same man who told him about the island in the first place. The man who started this voyage. I walked back down below deck and went to the galley to see the cook. That stew he made with the meat I gave him was delicious, and I wanted to see if we had more. As I walked in, I saw the cook cleaning up. He had provisions and stores of food all over the planks. I decided to help him out and clean up the mess. He told me that stew got ruined during the storm and said unfortunately I'd have to wait quite some time before anything could be prepared. I reassured him not to worry about it because of this storm we just experienced. We laughed and talked as we continued to clean and by the time we were done, it was almost as if the storm never happened. We said goodbye and I receded back into my cabin to lay down till we reached the pirate paradise. I awoke again a few hours later. Compared to the storm, the sea almost felt lifeless. I went back to the galley, grabbed some bread and a drink, then proceeded above deck. The captain was leaning on the rail looking onwards to the horizon, awaiting the rising sun during his calm night. The helmsman was at his post watching both of us while also keeping an eye forward. In the crow's nest, I could just barely make out the man looking through his glasses for any sign of our next stop. It's not that I mind we are going there, just wish we didn't have to. At least one crewmate gets into a fight every time we arrive here. I stood beside the captain and leaned against the rail myself. One more stop, he would tell me. One more and we will have everything we will ever need for life. But then he looked down. almost questioning his words. Like the feelings I'd been having, he had as well. Was this voyage really worth it? Either way, we are sailors, and a sailor's life is to the sea. The captain walked back to his quarters and shut the door. I rested my head on my hands as I watched the sky slowly turn red from the rising sun. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in morning, sailor's warning. A motto each of us knew. But the red sky on this morning was more than that. It was a darker shade, almost the same shade as the blood that runs through my veins. An icy chill went down my spine as I stared at the rising sun, peeking over the horizon. Was that our sign? Was that what we needed to turn around? Sadly, we would never know. I walked away from the rail and climbed the stairs to the helmsman. We were silent, and it was quiet enough you could hear each creak from the ship as she floated through the ocean, the salty breeze gently brushing our faces. The helmsman quietly asked me if I felt any of this was worth it. I told him I wasn't sure yet. Just wanted to make sure my family will be okay for their lives. He went silent again, and then told me he had an uneasy feeling. I agreed with him. We sat in silence again, until the barrelman finally shouted from high in the crow's nest. We had reached the pirate paradise. Tortuga.